URL just had that super fight. We fresh off that super fight. I want to talk about that. I want to recap that event. I love what I saw. And you know what? Let's get into it. What's going on out there, everyone? It's your boy, Mike Ryder, Mr. Accountability, the man behind the microphone. You are tuned in to a special edition of Mike Ryder Talks. I haven't talked battle rap on my show at all. I haven't talked battle rap since the Underdogs, and shout out to them. I really haven't been in the battle rap culture lately. However, I still watch certain events. URL has the All-Star Weekend going down this weekend, and they had the Super Fight event last night. I want to talk about that. That thing was so good. I gotta talk about that on a solo tilt too. 4 battles for an event. Events usually have 5, 6, 7 battles. This one had 4. That was surprising. That's a surprising number of battles for one real event, not a tournament. I know y'all gonna say, oh, you got the tournament, you got KOTD, they had the tournament, URL tournament. No, this is an actual event. It only had 4 battles, and it lived up to that saying to where I grew up hearing this, where it was like, okay, sometimes less is better. This was the perfect example of that. Without further ado, man, let's get into this card. What I usually do when I break down events, I start at a scale of 1 to 10, what I would rate the event overall. And I'm not going to do anything any different here. We're going to get into it. I give this event an 8. Some of y'all hearing this might say, man, no, it was a 9. It was a 10. This thing was hard. They were going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I give it an 8. It was fire. I was impressed by every battle. There were small things here and there that deducted points, though. Nephew, if you're hearing this, yes, there were some things that I am going to nitpick. So I give it an 8, and I'm going to start off with why. Why did I give this card an 8 instead of a 10? First, we're going to get into the pre-show. Pre-show with Jay Black and Surf. At this point, because you might have not heard me, at this point, they need to just do away with the pre-show. I ain't got nothing against the pre-show, but they don't know what they want to do with it. And if you've been watching their live events, you know what I'm talking about. Every pre-show is at a different time. It has a different length. They don't know where they want to put it. They don't know what they want to do with it. I'm just, I don't know, man. This pre-show was only 15 minutes long. That's a great thing. But then they really didn't cover nothing important. It's like, okay, y'all really just up there just talking. Y'all gave y'all predictions. Tay-Rock came on there talking about his battle for tomorrow. That he was on there for 5-10 minutes. Come on, like at this point, just get into the battles. Previous pre-shows have been an hour long, 30 minutes long. And it's like, dude, what are y'all doing? They don't know what they want to do with the pre-show. Now, I know football has a pre-show. I know basketball has a pre-show. I know boxing has a pre-show. I think wrestling, when they have events, they have pre-shows, like pay-per-view events. They have pre-shows. There's nothing wrong with battle rap having a pre-show, but make it watchable. Make it worth watching. And I know some of y'all gonna say, okay, you just complaining. Fans find anything to complain about. Listen, they don't know what they want to do with the pre-show. I'm cool with it. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm sitting there watching. I'm going to watch anyway. I'm cooking. I'm eating my food. I'm texting. Whatever. I'm cool with it. But if y'all don't know what y'all want to do with the pre-show, I can't appreciate it. So if every time y'all have an event, the pre-show is a different length, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Just do away with it. Just do no pre-show and see how you like it. Maybe the fans will like that a little more. But anyway, let's get into it. First battle on the card. Danny Myers, Kid Chaos. I'm not going to get into any bars. I'm not giving away bars, even though I got them. I'm not giving away any bars. I'm just going to tell y'all how I feel about the card, the battle, the event. With this battle, I give this battle itself an 8. I know they're like, man, that's 2 8s in a row. Oh, well, I give it an 8. I give Danny a 10. I give Kid Chaos a 7. The reason being, Kid Chaos has not learned certain things yet. He's still learning to implement different things, which is fine. That's no knock to him. Danny Myers is my favorite battler. Don't think I'm biased. Kid Chaos is one of my favorite up-and-coming battlers. I'm not biased. I show no biasness to nobody on any side of anything. So when I say he's still learning, it's just a part of the game. If you're a new dude, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to know everything to do. Every time you go out there, you're going to learn something different. You're going to apply something different from times before. And I see him doing that. I see the growth in Kid Chaos. Shout out to him. He wasn't a bomb. The man he was actually fire. And on the rewatch, myself, just like others, we may be able to learn to appreciate his material better. His material has that Lux effect. His material has that JC effect. And shout out to JC too. I saw you in the audience last night. I saw you going crazy for the bars. But anyway, the only reason I say I give him a 7 instead of an 8, 9, or a 10 is Danny just displayed levels. Danny did more than him. Danny came out there rapping. I tweeted something last night along the lines of Danny Myers has been doing like, man, lately he been putting on like crazy, to say the least. Like he's been showing different levels of punching, different styles of rapping. He gets into the fast flow. He gets into the slow flow, different cadences, different vocal projections. He hasn't been bigging himself up as much as he used to be. I know that was one of the biggest downfalls with Danny Myers. Everyone complained. Danny always yelling during his bars. He still does it. He doesn't do it as much. So I applaud him for that. But with Kid Chaos, it was like he pretty much did one thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He pretty much just did one thing. He did what Kid Chaos does. Nothing wrong with that. But when your opponent is doing multiple things, we always say the more complete battler will win a battle. Last night, Danny Myers was the more complete battler. He's telling stories in his raps. He's punching your head off. Like I said, slow flow, fast flow. He's showing. Danny been doing something lately that I never thought Danny would. He actually been showing a lot of humor. Even with his rebuttal, that rebuttal last night, y'all might say, oh, his rebuttals aren't that good. It was a bit humorous, you know, around the rebuttal. Look at the reaction around the rebuttal, how he did things. Even with Kid Chaos was going to get his water, he was like, nah, come here. You know what? Go drink your water. You know what I'm saying? That stuff like that, just it lightens the mood. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I got Danny taking the battle. 2-1, possible gentleman's 30. He didn't body Chaos. Matter of fact, on the rewatch, Kid Chaos's material will grow on you. I promise you, because I know it's going to grow on me. Matter of fact, I'm going to watch it back soon. Anyway, Danny Myers 2-1, possible gentleman's 30. Let's get to the next one. Next we got Rum Nitty, Holmesy the God. Okay, with this one, I gave this battle like a 7 overall battle. Rom Nitty throughout the battle told you that he wasn't 100%. I knew he wasn't going to be 100% against Holmesy. No diss to Holmesy. And Rom is not disrespecting Holmesy, but at this point, Nitty needs bigger and better opponents. It is what it is. He's number 1 on the app, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me. He's number 1 on the app. He's one of the most creative battlers ever as far as his punches. He has some very intricate and creative punches you would never think to put together. He's a robot. He does this thing. You could tell he does this in his sleep. It's just effortless. And he's telling you, okay, I'm 70%. I'm going to be 60%. If you want me to be 100%, give me Hollow. You want me to be 100%, give me Holla. Give me Lux. Give me guys like that if you want me to be 100%. However, you give me Holmesy the God, who, no offense, was in a tournament. Y'all going to get 70, 60%. And it's still going to be fire. And I'm just going to walk all over this man. Now, Holmesy didn't play that. Holmesy was on it. However, there are some improvements that are needed. And just like Kid Chaos, the more that he battles, the more he's going to recognize that. Holmesy came out and shocked everyone in the tournament last year. That man was, dude, he ruined everyone's bracket. And shout out to him for that. However, outside of the tournament, he hasn't been able to get right. And this is one of those battles that show that. He was great. Holmesy, if you're listening, you were great last night. But there are a few things that you need to add to your performance. If you add those things, you'll see some separation. You know what I'm saying? You'll gradually separate from the pack. And this is no offense to you. I'm not dissing you. I'm just calling it how I see it. I just see some things that you need to improve on. I do have this battle being Nitty possible Gentleman's 30. 2-1 possible Gentleman's 30. I don't honestly forgot the rounds. I got the stuff on my phone. I got some stuff on my computer, but I'm just going off of just me waking up first thing in the morning. I just want to talk about what I saw. And this is just me going off my memory. So I gave Rom Nitty the battle. If you feel otherwise, comment. You can comment, I interact with you in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter at mryder23. That's at MRYDER23. I ain't hard to find. Let's move on to the next battle. B Dot versus Shotgun Suge. Hey, Suge baited B Dot into a battle, and I see why. Listen, this battle was fire. This battle was amazing. Man, we get into it. B Dot does what B Dot do. Conscious talk, street talk, bar you to death. What else can you ask for? You know what I'm saying? He done added some more performance. He was up there with the merch on. Fire. You know what I'm saying? Very fire. I saw where he was I saw different things in him where he was talking more to the camera last night. So it seemed like he was addressing us. I don't know if I'm missing something, if I'm looking at it too closely, because I pay close attention to details. I look at details that some people don't. Okay. He was talking to the camera a lot last night. Could have been because of COVID. Okay, I don't want to be spitting on my opponent. I don't want my opponent spitting on me, which that kind of happened, but whatever. That could have been a reason. Or he could have been addressing the people, these sometime fans that we are, we'll switch up on you in a heartbeat. So he could have been addressing the people, or it could have been something with somebody at home. I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? But, me, our first watch, I got to say, I gave B Dot the battle. I gave B Dot the battle 2-1, first and third. I gave Suge that second. Suge, to me, this might be the best Suge I've ever seen. He was still typical Suge, you know, just simple. And I'm a rah rah, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? But it was so much more that he added. Like, dude was snapping. I was like, okay, Suge, let's go, big boy. Suge was snapping. But B Dot, to me, man, that pen just shows levels. I'm sorry. The pen shows levels. And y'all can see, ain't no editing. We're doing this thing one take. We running through everything. Ain't no muting, ain't no pausing. We running this thing through. If I mess up, hey, you just don't get what you get. But his pen shows levels. He was talking that street stuff too, just like Suge. But B Dot, the stuff he was doing in his third, that street talk he was on in the third about the Bloods and the Crips and the Cali Crips and you living in Jersey, I understand that's an angle on Suge and ours because they claim Grape Street, which is a Cali set, but it's okay. Okay, let me say this. We talk about people using the same angles. Oh, you can't do that angle because such and such did it. Oh, you can't do this angle because such and such did it. Yeah, but if you come with a creative way to attack that angle, it's all yours. And B Dot did just that. You know what I'm saying? He provided some information that some people may not know about that happened. He provided some stuff that you may know about, but the way that he talked about it in that third, I gave him the third. Now, the fan vote on Caffeine gave Suge the third, if I'm not mistaken, which gave Suge the battle. And I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I can see why, though. Because on camera, Suge came across more digestible. He was more consumer friendly. You know what I'm saying? We're going to use business terms. He was easier to understand. Whereas B Dot layered, like I said, Kid Chaos layered, you will have to break that stuff down when they release it or on the rewatch. So I can understand why the fan vote went to Suge. However, I don't miss too many bars. Like when I listen to stuff, I retain that information and I process it easily. So when B Dot getting into different bars and breaking down different stuff and going into different cadences and different flows and stuff, I'm understanding what he's saying. I gave B Dot the battle 2-1, first and third. I gave this battle a 9. This was a great battle. Had a few stumbles. Listen. B Dot stumbled in the third to open up. Suge stumbled in his third as well. But no one choked. And see, this is the thing about stumbling. If you're live, please understand this. If you're live and you're going at a certain pace, it's hard to rap at a fast pace without stumbling. Live. Hear me out on that. Look at the pace that B Dot raps at. Look at the pace that this match is going in. Look at the intensity. You know what I'm saying? These people are up. They're going. Blood is flowing. Their mind is racing. You're going to get a stumble here and there. What I don't tolerate are the chokes. What I don't tolerate is the multiple stumbles. One stumble here, cool. And you go back into your material. I'm fine with that. And they both did that. Suge had a slight stumble in his third. B Dot did too. It's okay. And they probably beat them. Matter of fact, I heard B Dot beat himself up before the camera cut off at the end of the battle. He was like, dang, I can't believe I slipped up at the beginning of my third. I caught that. I pay attention. But fire battle. I give it a 9. B Dot 2-1. Rewatch that battle. Great replay value. Let's move on to the main event. Mike P versus Real Sick. They say this is a mirror match, Ryu can type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mike P, supposed comeback. I don't know how you call it a comeback. He did take a break. He just took a vacation and been doing with his family. He ain't been that active in battle rap. However, it ain't been that long. It ain't like he was out for 2 or 3 years. He was really just out for a few months. I ain't gonna say a few, about 6 months. If that. The tournament was last summer. We're at the beginning of spring. He's been out almost 6 months. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Give or take 6 months. Not a comeback. And if we are going to call it a comeback, boy, what a comeback. Because he was fire. Real Sick, he was fire. And he ain't on the comeback. My man just rising the ranks. You know what I'm saying? Real Sick, shout out to you. Mike P, shout out to you. This, my friend, was a classic. You guys have went certified classic off of one watch. Off of just a live watch. No edits, no drops, no rewatches, no replays, nothing. Certified classic. Thank y'all for that battle. For first watch, I think I'm giving the battle to Real Sick first and second. Mike P got that third. Mike P turned up in that third. Now, he was turning up the whole battle, but he was consistently at a high level in that third. I think Real Sick just outclassed him just a bit to convincingly win the first and second on my first watch, on that live watch. I haven't rewatched it. Like I said, I just watched these battles last night live. I went to sleep after that. I ain't try to replay nothing. Listen, the battles haven't dropped. I'm just not coming back to my computer. I'm just going off of the first thing that I'm thinking of this morning. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that. I repeated myself. Oh, well. Real Sick, fire. Real Sick does something that a lot of people need to learn to do. Incorporate real rapping with the modern style of battle rapping. This is why he's so fire. On top of, you can tell he's intelligent. He has a certain level of intelligence that he displays while rapping. It's not too much to where you can't understand it. It's just right to where it's like, okay, this is a smart guy. And he's delivering it to where you can get this. You can be 9th grade level education. You understand the stuff that he's saying. Now, I didn't understand when he got into, I think he did the Italian thing. I don't speak their language, but I understood. I didn't understand it 100%, but I understood what he was getting at. But if you can have a 9th grade level of education and understand what this man is saying and understand that he's very intelligent while saying it and while delivering it, very, very pleased with Real Sick. He is another, just like Kid Chaos, he is another one of my favorites from the new class. Mike P. Mike P is tricky. Mike P ain't new class. Mike P isn't old school. Mike P is in the middle. He's kind of along the lines of the Briz Rothsteins and the T-Tops. However, Mike P hasn't been on, he wasn't getting the push that Briz and T-Top was getting. So some people think he's more newer. But if you were a fan around the 2015, 2016 era, you know Mike P was putting on. Mike P put on against Daylight, 2016, Born Legacy 3. Day 2 main event, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Mike P been putting on for a minute, but he just hasn't gotten that push. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's something with the staff at URL. I don't know. He hasn't been on as many cards as some people have. So that's why some people think, okay, Mike P is a new guy. Now, Mike P caught in the middle. But that's the good thing because he embodies both styles. Mike P can rap, like rap. He can rap slow. He can rap fast. He can get into the punches. He can do angles. That's another thing that he embodies that some of these newer guys need to embody. If you're a new battler, you want to improve your style, go watch Mike P versus Real Sick. Take notes from that battle. Both battlers displayed things that you can put into your arsenal to make your battling style better. Thank me later. Like I said, I'm not giving away bars. I'm not giving away all that crazy stuff. I just want to tell y'all what I saw. Shout out to Mike P. Shout out to Real Sick. This battle was almost perfect. This battle was battle of the night. A lot of people was wondering, like, okay, Why is this a main event? How could they be a main event? You got people like B Down and Suge on the card, which B Down and Suge was supposed to have been on the volume, but it got, pushed over to here, which is kind of crazy. So without B Down and Suge, you only have 3 battles. It make you think like, okay, what were they really trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Oh well. Main event, Mike P real sick, very deserving of the main event spot. Sometimes the main event can be underwhelming. They overshine. They did not let me down. Shout out to Mike P. I'm glad you came back. You're one of my favorite battlers. Shout out to Real Sick, one of my favorite up and coming battlers. Shout out to URL, putting on a dope event. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Mike Ryder Talks, and I'm going to do this just like I do my live shows, like I do every time. You see the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Until we meet again, and be blessed. I love y'all.